another one here. It's a woman walking around the street with her blouse open and her right breast was hanging out. So I got booby jokes tonight. The cop was approaching from a block away, and he's thinking to himself, my eyes must be going. It looks like that woman's, hanging out of her blouse. But as it got closer, it became apparent that, her tit was hanging out, right? So the officer got face-to-face with the woman and said, Miss, are you aware that your boob's hanging out of your shirt there? What? Oh, no. And she looks around, she goes, oh, my God, I left my baby on the bus. Here's a dirty joke for you. What's an alternative phrase for anal bleaching?
Oh.
Changing your ringtone. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Okay. All right, now here's one. It's about a husband and wife. They went to a really expensive hotel, right? Right? And the receptionist says, that'll be $400, sir. And the husband's like, we only stayed one night. Why would it be $400? And the receptionist said, well, it's a 5-star hotel. I mean, world-class private golf course, one of the finest spas in the country. And the husband said, well, we didn't use the golf course when we didn't go to the spa. And the receptionist says, I understand that, sir, but it was there to use if you wanted to. Well, the husband pulls out $100 and hands it to the receptionist. And the receptionist says, excuse me, sir, but you're $300 short. Yes, but that's the cost for you. I'm charging you $300 for sleeping with my wife. Receptionist said, I didn't sleep with your wife. The husband said, I understand, but she was there if you wanted to. I don't understand why some of these places are so expensive. Okay, 2 cows are standing in a field. One cow says, man, that mad cow disease sure is scary, isn't it? The other cow says, yeah, thank God I'm a helicopter. Okay. I went to see a movie the other night, right? And I sit in the aisle, right, as I usually do, because, it's a little roomier. And just as the feature is about to start, a blonde in the center of the row, she gets up and she starts working her way out, right? And she's doing that, excuse me, sorry, oops, excuse me, pardon me, gotta hurry, oops, excuse me. By the time she got to me, I was trying to look around, right? And I was getting a little impatient. I said, couldn't you have done this a little earlier? And she said, no. The screen said, turn off your cell phone, please. And I left mine in the car. I go, turn off my cell phone. Blonde joke. All right. Here's another quiz for you to prepare for tomorrow. What do a horny walrus and a Tupperware container, what do they have in common? A horny walrus and a Tupperware container.
It's got to have something to do with the seal, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're both looking for a tight seal.
No.
What?
They're both looking for a tight seal.
Mm-hmm.
Horny walrus. Okay. Okay, a drunk gets on the bus one day and he sits down next to a priest, right? And as the drunk absolutely stank of wine, his shirt is stained, his face is all red, right? He had a half-empty bottle of wine sticking out of his pocket, right? Then he finds a newspaper on the street, on the seat, and he starts to read it. Right, a couple of minutes later, he asks the priest, Father, what causes arthritis? And the priest replies, and he's very, miffed at this drunk. He says, well, it's caused by loose living, being with cheap, wicked women, too much alcohol, and a contempt for your fellow man. Right, and the drunk says, imagine that, he muttered, and he goes back to reading his newspaper. And the priest gets a little curious and said, but how long have you had arthritis? And the drunk says, I don't have arthritis. I'm just reading in the paper that the Pope does. Loose living, drunkenness, and so forth. All right. Now here's one. A teacher goes up to the kid and says, hey, if I gave you $1 and your father gave you $1, how much money would you have? And the kid says, $1. The teacher said, clearly you don't know arithmetic. And the kid says, clearly you don't know my dad. Okay, here's another one about being on a bus. A woman walks onto a bus, right, holding her baby. This is not the same lady that left her baby on the bus, by the way, right? She scans her card, because they have that thing now. Where Anyway, bus driver looks her up and down and says, geez, you sure have an ugly baby. The lady is just shocked, right? And shields her baby with her hand like, how dare you? She takes a seat, and she's sitting next to this man. She's just getting absolutely steamed. The man sitting next to her says, "What's wrong?" "That bus driver insulted me the moment I stepped on this bus, and he's a government employee working for the transit system." And the man said, "Well, you shouldn't have to put up with that." And the lady said, "You know what? You're right. I'm going to go up there and give him a piece of my mind." The man said, "Good for you. I'll hold your monkey while you're up there." Okay, now this is a two-part joke. Two-part joke. To avoid being raped when you're in jail, stick a tube of toothpaste up your ass for complete cavity protection.
Oh.
The second part of this joke is, it's very ironic. That's a Bill Cosby joke from the 1970s.
Oh no! Oh my God!
He'll have to follow his own advice for that one. Yeah. Anyway, little Johnny was sitting in class, and he's doing math problems, right? And the teacher picked him to answer a question. Of course, he hates that. "Oh, not me, please." Right? Bored Johnny says, "Okay, Johnny, if 5 birds are sitting on a fence, and you shot one with your gun, how many would be left?" "Well, there wouldn't be anyone left," said Johnny, "because they would hear the shot and the rest of them would fly away." Well, and the teacher said, "Well, the answer's supposed to be 4, but I like the way you're thinking. That's pretty clever. I got a question for you. If there were 3 women eating ice cream cones in a shop, one of them's licking her cone, the second is biting her cone, the third is sucking her cone, which one is married?" And the kid said, right, and the teacher goes, "I guess the one sucking the cone." Little Johnny says, "Nope, the one with the wedding ring on her finger, but I like the way you're thinking."